Thanks for tuning in to another episode of That Betting Show for August 6, 2019, your one-stop shop for all your sports betting needs. He's Teddy Covers. Give him a follow on Twitter at Teddy_Covers. I'm Donnie Seymour at Right Side VP. Those Yankees, Teddy, continue to bomb away. And how about this one? The Mets, we talked about it yesterday, sweep a doubleheader. And latest news here in the NFL, Zeke requesting payment before he renders his services. Let's get right to the hot topics here. That hot topic, Teddy, are those New York Yankees in that next man up mentality. How about this, Teddy? Setting a record 32 home runs in a road ballpark, the first time that's ever happened. Teddy, they have 2 more games to go even.
Yeah, which speaks volumes about the opponent that they're playing. But, I mean, what the Yankees have done this season, I printed out their injured list. 16 guys, Andor, Aaron Hicks, Encarnacion's hurt, Luke Voigt's hurt. Giancarlo Stanton obviously has been out all year. Ellsbury's been out all year. Greg Bird out. And that's not even talking about the starting pitchers and the relievers that are gone. But with that many bats out of the lineup to do what they're doing, if this team ever gets healthy, I mean, maybe they will give Houston a battle. The elite teams in baseball this year are better than they are usually, is all I'm going to say. And the Yankees are really elite. The Astros are really elite. And obviously, when you're hitting 32 home runs in one ballpark that's not your own, you're doing something right.
My God, I mean, it's been amazing to watch, and you do have to keep up because a lot of teams, we see it, and I see it a lot in Philadelphia here. Oh, the lineup continuity, Teddy. We just can't get things to go. Every single day it's a new lineup, and the Yankees continue to hit. That says a lot about their farm system and also coaching staff as well as hitting instructors all throughout. So we'll keep an eye on those New York Yankees, but they just continue to bomb away. And as we said, 2 more games there in Baltimore. Let's see how high they can run that record total up to. How about the same city, Teddy? Just a different team in a different league. The amazing Mets, is this 1969 all over again? Team catching fire, dead and out, gets Marcus Stroman, and all of a sudden hit their stride? How about when we talked about it yesterday, Teddy, a doubleheader? Can they get even more ground? 2 wins yesterday, 2 more games against the Marlins. We're going to preview in just a little bit a heavy favorite again today versus those Marlins. Do the Mets have enough in the tank? Because they're closing fast. It's down to 2.5 games for them in the wild card race, Teddy.
Sure. And again, yesterday they're minus 360 and minus $2 in that doubleheader sweep. They're now over 500 for the first time since May 2nd when they were sitting at 16 and 15. So it's been a while for the Mets, and obviously a relatively easy matchup today and tomorrow. That being said, after this little stretch, and it's been a real nice stretch for the Mets, they've been playing one weekling after the next. They've taken care of business. After this, they have the Nats, the Braves, easy series against Kansas City. Then the Indians, the Braves, the Cubs, the Phillies, the Nats, and the Phillies again. For as easy as it's been over the last month, it's about to get a lot tougher for the Mets over the next month. And remember, over the first half of the season, they did not fare well when stepping up in class. They're going to actually make the postseason. They're going to earn it with this schedule that's coming up. But this red-hot run, 11-1 last 12, 17-5 last 22. That's going to end when we see the schedule toughen for the Mets. They can still escape with a winning record out of that group. They'll be in decent shape. But it's been easy. It's going to get tougher. Don't expect the Mets' current run to last indefinitely.
Yeah, it looks like second baseman Robbie Cano also there, Teddy, down with a hamstring injury that looks to be quite significant. We'll see how long it takes them to get back. But they do have some young players producing, Pete Alonso, McNeil, and the boys. We'll see if it holds up because the starting pitching technically should be able to get them there. But we do know this is the Mets. We do know injuries are a part of baseball. We'll follow that along the rest of the summer. A little bit of NFL news, training camp news, as it came down a little bit early this morning. Zeke said, you know what, Teddy? Love it here in Cabo, man. I'm not showing up until I get that new ink on the paycheck and I'm paid like I'm supposed to be paid. Josina Anderson reports he won't even report until there's a new deal. Regular season, preseason, camp, it doesn't matter. He wants that new deal in here. But Michael Crabtree couldn't come to a deal with the Arizona Cardinals, the free agent wide receiver. And the thing we like about the Jets today that we talked about right here on this show, you can't have enough solid linemen. They add another one to the mix, trying to protect Sam Darnold this year. We'll see how that works out. Calf injury still slowing down Andrew Luck. And Mo Claiborne, there's a reason why he's a free agent still, Teddy, suspended for the first 4 games of 2019 for substance abuse policy issues. How about it, Teddy, around the NFL?
Sure. Well, let's talk about what matters from a point spread perspective, because there's a ton of NFL news. The markets obviously don't react to all of it. And one thing they haven't reacted to at all is the week 1 number for Dallas against the Giants. It's still sitting right there at 7.5, where it's been basically all summer. Now remember, it's not just Zeke Elliott that needs a new contract. The Cowboys are trying to negotiate extensions with Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper as well. They got to pay all three guys or choose which one of them is going to go, which is not going to be Prescott, I'll tell you that. So, Zeke is the guy right now. And they've made the reports from the Cowboys organization is they're frustrated at the lack of engagement in negotiations with all three guys. They put contract offers out that made all three at least top 5 at their respective positions. But right now, the betting market's saying, yeah, this is preseason nonsense. Dallas will straighten it all out by the time the regular season starts. Another thing the markets are not reacting to, and we saw a little bit of it, actually, in the last 24 hours, so maybe they're starting to react to it, but the Andrew Luck injury, which was, it's a little thing, and then, it's still a little thing, and then, did you notice? He's been hurt for 3 months now. This happened back in May, and here we are in August. And now the markets are saying, well, maybe that Luck injury is something to be concerned about. We're just starting to see Chargers money for week 1. Open 3.5, bet down to 3 immediately at the get-go. And now we're seeing 3 minus 15, 3 minus 20. That's saying there is some concern in the betting markets about this Andrew Luck injury being serious. And as for Michael Crabtree not signing in Arizona, look, he's 31 years old. He's coming off the worst season since his rookie year. He led the NFL in drop passes last year. The Ravens signed him 3 years, $21 million, and then cut him after 1 year. The worst team in the NFL brings you in for a look, and then they can't agree to a contract. Guess what, Crabtree? That's about the best you're going to get. If I was his agent, I would encourage him to accept that offer to play with Arizona. I'm not sure what else is out there for Michael Crabtree right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on, don't look at gift horse in the mouth here. Hey, it looks good. Let's sign you this contract. Hey, maybe you'll break back into the league. You have a good season. We'll sign you to a long-term deal. Now I want more up front. Yeah, have a nice day. I mean, that's basically the way it goes in the NFL here. But certainly some conditions to look at. Andrew Luck, obviously, being one of those here. But it'd be a lot of fun. We have that first week of preseason football right up on deck. Keep track of that all at SBRodds.com and sportsbookreview.com. Let's get into a little bit of college football, Teddy. And there's a smile on your face today because Teddy is a Michigan man. We're going to detail the 2019 Michigan Wolverines. How about a 19 to 1 ticket to win the 2019 NCAA title this year? The Wolverines team total at 9.5, heavily juiced on that one, Teddy, at minus 175. finished 10-3 in 2018, 8-1 in the Big Ten. Jim Harbaugh back for his 5th season here, and let's see if the 5th season is a charm. Shea Patterson will be back on the center. Got some pretty good wide receivers to work with. A little bit raw there at running back, but as we know, look, Michigan recruits, the easiest spot to probably replace in college football and football itself would be to get a highly touted running back at Michigan. We'll see who comes through, but also, how about that defense, Teddy? 2018 number 1 defense in the Big Ten, number 2 overall in the nation. And the good part is we always look schedule right here, Teddy, on that betting show. Michigan heads to Happy Valley and Camp Randall this year, but they do get Iowa, Notre Dame, Michigan State, and the big game at home versus Ohio State this year. Today, we're going to take a look at those Michigan Wolverines.
Well, I'm going to start by addressing Jim Harbaugh, because Harbaugh's taken a fair bit of criticism for this Michigan program, a program that obviously is not where it was in the Bo Schembechler, Lloyd Carr era. Or is it? Michigan's won 10 games in 3 of Harbaugh's 4 years on the job. He has as many national titles as Bo Schembechler ever did. Okay? Excuse me. When we talk about the state of the Wolverines program, it's better now than it was. Better now than it was 5 years ago. It's better now than it was 10 years ago. And even though they haven't beaten Ohio State yet, if you say, all right, Harbaugh's got to go if they don't beat Ohio State this year, and bring in a new staff and all, Harbaugh's the best they're going to get. If he can't win there, the program is dead, okay? Not dead, but dead like Michigan State. You're going to be competing for maybe a Big Ten title, not for national titles. I think that the overreaction to Harbaugh's inability to beat Ohio State is through the roof. He is a coach who I trust and who I want my money on. All that being said, Michigan's offense got a new face this year, Josh Gaddis. His quote, he will completely remove the huddle from the equation. So the Wolverines joining the many, many teams that are playing spread up-tempo offenses in 2019. And that worked for Shea Patterson at Ole Miss. And you talked about the skill position talent that they have. Offensive line, a big position of strength. Every player, well, they lost one starter from last year, but the starter was only a half-year starter. So that offensive line is loaded. you talk about the defense, and yeah, big attrition from last year. You lose Gary, you lose Winovich, you lose Bush, but and Madison, of course, to Ohio State as the coordinator. But this is a team that allowed 149 points in their first 11 games last year, and then 103 points in their last 2 games against Ohio State and Florida. The cupboard certainly isn't bare. I don't think the last 2 games are a true indicator of Michigan's defensive capabilities.
And there you go, Teddy. See how passionate Teddy is right over there. Getting so worked up he has to cough his way through this, and also at the same time taking a shot at little brother Michigan State. That's what we love about Teddy here, right here on That Betting Show. We'll keep it moving. Overnight line movers, best place on the internet to get those. We know where that's at. It's SBRodds.com. How about this one, Teddy? I mean, when did we change into like the 1929 Yankees here with the Mets? All of a sudden, another heavy price and a pitching change. Opened up at 192. Now we're seeing 270s across the board with Zach Wheeler on the mound. And for good reason. With this pitching change, Teddy, the Marlins are putting a guy on the mound who last saw action in Major League Baseball in 2015. It's now Noisi versus Wheeler on the mound tonight, Teddy.
Yeah, and look, I mean, the last time Wheeler was on the mound at Citi Field, the Mets were 8 games under 500, and everybody who came to the game thought this is his last game as a Met, and they were all waving him goodbye. Now, all of a sudden, it's like, 2 weeks later, not even? And the Mets are on fire. The Marlins have lost 4 straight, 6 of 7. Wheeler's pitched brilliantly. He pitched brilliantly last time out against the White Sox, 7 innings of 4 hits, scoreless ball. He's dominated the Marlins over the course of his career. I'm not surprised at all that it's Mets money in this one. 2 teams definitely trending in opposite directions.
Battered Angels line on the move here, Teddy. How about the Angels taking a little bit of action here? Open up around plus 140, sits around plus 126. Going to be the Angels and the Reds tonight. A total in the game set at 10. Suarez versus DeSclafani tonight.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit surprised that the Angels are taking money, but there's 2 reasons why. First, even though they struck out 17 times yesterday, including a career-high 13 strikeouts by Luis Castillo against them, Brad Ausmus, quote, "I actually thought our at-bats tonight against a really good pitcher were pretty good. Better at-bats than we've had recently. Positive sign." The other thing that the betting markets like about LA, they love the young lefties first time against through the league. First time against an opponent that hasn't seen him. And no, Suarez wasn't good in July. He didn't last the 5 innings in any of his 5 starts that month. But the rookie left-hander does have promise. And it's not like the Reds have been smacking left-handed pitching. So the markets with a little bit of support for the Angels today. And I'll just put it this way, not my money.
No, exactly. Taking a look at the Angels today, you should be able to get a good right-handed lineup out of Cincinnati. We'll see if that pays off tonight. Last game we'll look at on SBR odds. Line movers here. The Diamondbacks are bouncing back here, Teddy. Opened up around 117. Now sitting as we look at SBRodds.com around that 134 to 137 level. Jake Arrieta on the mound who has his struggles on the road. And how about Mike Leake coming to town here to start for the Arizona Diamondbacks, the cagey veteran here?
Yeah, I mean, look, Arrieta, he's dealing with a bone spur in his pitching elbow. He hasn't finished the 6th inning in any of his last 5 starts. He hasn't thrown more than, 88 pitches at any point during that span. It's a bit of a concern right now for Philadelphia with Arrieta on the hill. The market's not excited about him this evening. And Leake, remember, Leake pitched for Arizona State. He's going home to Arizona. He certainly pitched well, surprisingly well throughout the course of the season. And, his quote, "It's a little surreal. Playing for my hometown team is a dream for me. So it's nice to be here and have that opportunity." Feels like a big game for the D-backs after losing the series opener yesterday. The market's reflecting that in early betting action.
No, Ted, you bring up a pretty good point there on Jake Arrieta. Even in his last start there, I mean, he's really managing that elbow. So he's probably not going to pitch into the 6th inning, even if he has a really good pitching effort going. In the last game, they staked him, the Phillies, staked him to a lot of runs. And 1 inning was a little bit longer than usual, Teddy, where that elbow started to flare up and give him a little bit of problems. He was out the very next inning. And we do know with the Phillies, you want to target that bullpen. You should get a good amount of bullpen at bats with the Arizona Diamondbacks tonight. Watch what you bet right here on That Betting Show. Cubs going for 2 in a row versus the Athletics. The A's and the Cubs minus 140 with a total of 9.5. If you watch the game last night, everybody thought maybe a 3-run home run was in order, but it fell short of the basket home run at Wrigley Field, and the Cubs pulled away with the winner. The Cubs now sit 61-51 on the season. It's going to be Anderson and Lester tonight in Chicago, Teddy.
Marcus Semien coming this close to hitting his 3rd bomb of the game, but the wind knocks it down. It lands on the warning track, or it lands in a glove on the warning track. Heads Chicago coming away with the victory. Now 12-2. Their last 14 home games, the home field edge, the friendly confines at Wrigley have been very friendly of late. we're talking about Simeon's bat because, I mean, Chris Davis has been cold, Matt Chapman's been cold, and yet, the A's continue to win and continue to score runs in part because he's been so hot. Oakland, even with the loss, they're still 6-2 their last 8. They're only a half game behind Tampa for the second wild card spot, and they're 28-13 since June 17th. How about this? 45-24 since mid-May. That's an extended stretch of excellent baseball, 650 baseball, close to it, from the A's, who have not been priced in that range pretty consistently. Of course, when you talk about the matchup, Anderson versus Lester, I mean, he's been much better at home than on the road. His advanced metrics say he's not the same guy that he was. He got bombed in St. Louis last time out, but, he's still going for his 10th win today, and he's still got an ERA under 3 at home. And with 6 wins in 11 starts this season, Anderson's pitched well against the Cubs. He pitched well against the Brewers last time out. Not a guy who the markets are particularly excited about. But on the other hand, given this price range and given the Cubs' success, I don't know that Oakland's a team that it's a hard game for me. The bottom line is I'm not involved. I'm going to be passing on this one tonight. When I lean one way and lean back the other, that's when I'm like, this is a game I'm going to be leaving alone.
No, certainly much. Take a look at this next game here. Another interleague play. Mike Foltynewicz back from AAA. Didn't work out so well for Kevin Gausman. We'll see if it changes for Foltynewicz as the Twins look to walk the Braves off in Game 2 again. Miguel Sano with a titanic shot, pinch hit home run in a 5-3 victory last night for the Twins over the Braves. Currently sitting today -153 in the favor of the Twins with a total of 10. Braves are 66-48 on the season. How about those Twins, Teddy? 70-42 continue to hold that stiff arm on those Cleveland Indians. Foltynewicz versus Barrios tonight up north.
And, of course, the Braves make all the trade deadline deals to fix their bullpen. And what happens? The bullpen blows game on Sunday, and they blow a game on Monday. It doesn't matter who they're putting in. Green gets lit up. Last night, it wasn't Green. Was it? I forget who it was. Darn it, it's making me crazy. Oh, Martin. They hit the two-run homer off Martin. That's frustrating for it. You're in position to win games, and you lose them. That does not bode well for the locker room. That does not bode well for a lot of different things with Atlanta, especially since they just made a bunch of deals to supposedly make this bullpen good. Obviously, it hasn't happened so far. Foltynewicz, a guy who was an all-star last year, and this year was so bad he went down to AAA for 6 starts to figure his stuff out. Manager Brian Snitker, quote, "I'm looking forward to getting him back out there. It looks like every outing has been a little better. His stuff has been good, the command and everything. I'm looking forward to seeing him come up and provide a spark here." This is why I never look at numbers like this. Foltynewicz, he's got an 8.74 ERA in 3 appearances, including 2 starts against the Twins. Yes, that is true. Current Twins have a total of 7 hits against him in their career. So whatever he might have done against some other guys, it's not their track record against this current Minnesota lineup. But obviously, with Barrios on the hill, he's been real good. He's won his last 2 starts. Dominant outing against Miami last time. Gave up just 2 singles and 7 shutout innings, struck out 11. Of course, this lineup's a little bit tougher than that of the Marlins, but it's a Twins team that continues to overachieve and a Braves team that continues to lose games late. I'm not interested in the road squad in this contest.
Yeah, we'll see how the Braves pull it out there in Minnesota over the next few games here and then get a little bit of a respite by taking 4 games with the Miami Marlins coming up on deck here. How about the Cardinals bounced in Game 1, Teddy, looking to come back in Game 2. They don't score a run and get whitewashed last night out of Chavez Ravine. Tonight, the Dodgers favored -185 with a total of 8.5. The Cardinals come in 58-53. Now, when we were talking about yesterday, them leading the wild card, now they're actually suddenly behind the Philadelphia Phillies and the Washington Nationals, who both won last night. The Dodgers 75-40 on the season, 44-15 at home. Going to be Michaelis versus Kershaw tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Kershaw's been as consistent as it gets. He's pitched at least 6 innings in each one of his 19 appearances this year. 16 of them have been quality starts. His last start, 2 runs, 6 hits, and 6 innings, but he was not happy about it afterwards. Even though he actually broke Sandy Koufax's Dodgers strikeout record. His quote, "I heard the crowd after he broke the strikeout record, but I was a little bit frustrated with myself at the time. I had the ball right here. It's really cool. Anytime you mention the same breath as Sandy, he wouldn't be proud of this one, though. Thankful I got through 6. Can't even talk about it. I was so bad." A season-high 5 walks in that ball game. His command wasn't there. Is that a red flag? Maybe. All that being said, the Dodgers are 44-15 at home this season. I know that record was even better a month ago. They had some problems against the Padres at home in recent weeks. That tells us that every home game they're priced under $250 has been wrong. They're cheap. That record says minus $3 is a fair price for the Dodgers in any given home game. And tonight they got Kershaw on the hill. If you're looking for excuses to bet against LA, don't be. They're really good. Dodgers are pass for this better.
Yeah, we'll see what Bellinger has to offer again today. Him and Yelich seem to be going on a 1-1A track to be the MVP of the National League. It should be fun to watch it play out. And Teddy, every once in a while we get the off-the-mic subject, and we get to talk a little bit of knuckleheadedness right here. I don't know if this is creativity or just the epitome of stupidity here. How about testing positive for being pregnant? Oh, you say, you know what? WNBA player? Yeah, it happens like that. But why would that be a positive test? Because this was a gentleman, Teddy, that got tested for this. Instead of asking your boy or a guy down the street or any human being that is a male in the building, you went to your pregnant girlfriend and said, I need to borrow your urine because I know it's clean, you haven't done any drugs, and I'm going to submit that for my drug test. DJ Cooper gets hit with a 2-year FIBA suspension after it was revealed he used his pregnant girlfriend's urine, Teddy. How about this one today?
Well, the beauty of it is that after the failed test, after the 2-year suspension, he goes, well, I'm going to take a hiatus for family reasons. Okay, well, he's going to be a dad, so I guess he will spend more time with his family. But hint, female urine has different hormone levels than male urine. They can tell. What a great discussion point, Donnie. Thanks. Let's please talk more about pee tomorrow. That's what our viewers want to see. Pee topics right here on That Betting Show.
That's exactly correct. And we already did take a hiatus in the summer, Teddy. DJ Cooper just taking a little bit different of a hiatus for the rest of the summer, but continue to join us right here on That Betting Show. And we thank you for tuning in for August 6, 2019. Your one-stop shop for all your sports betting needs. Once again, he's Teddy Savransky. Give him a follow on Twitter at Teddy_Covers. I'm Donnie Seymour, right side VP. We'll be back tomorrow, one step closer to a full slate of Thursday night preseason football games. Join us tomorrow. Have a good night.